Hello, Bucks fans. We are back. We are live here at Real Bucks Talk, and it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we were live. I think the last time we were live, the Buccaneers were winning football games, but obviously, over the last month, it's been very tough sledding. Injuries have definitely hit this team hard. It's been difficult with 3 losses in a row. And it's frustrating. I know a lot of fans are frustrated, Mark, and hopefully there's brighter days ahead, and we'll get into that and discuss what is our thoughts of this team moving forward, and obviously what do we make of the current situation. But with that said, how are we doing? How are we feeling? It's good to be back here live with you. It's been too long, my friends. So it's good to see everyone here and see you as well.
Yeah, it's been a wild few weeks.
Yeah,
We had the hurricane kind of knock us out with power. We had
yeah,
uh, shit shows of games nonstop. It
mhm,
was very inconsistent play, especially on the defensive side of the ball, considering your coach is a defensive coordinator.
yeah.
Insult to injury. But you get the speaking of injuries, you get your top two receivers down. Now tight end one is tight end one. I was excited about that.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, your play caller is doing phenomenal with what he has, but still it's tough to make up for some deficiencies when Baker's not throwing the ball accurately or placement wise or on time and stuff like that. Even though this game he was clean, and this is something we talked about. It's like if Baker's clean, we're pretty much in every game or winning every game. So if this is a type of performance you can see from him consistently, we're going to be winning a lot of games after this. I know it doesn't look well. You're 4-5. It looks like it's treading the wrong direction, but just stay in games. That's all it is. And the Bucks are always in games. Uh,
Mm,
the Ravens game didn't feel like they were in it at the end. But they lost by 10. It
yeah.
didn't feel like that. It felt like they lost by 30. But again, they always find a way to kind of stay in games. And this is another game that was winnable that they probably could have won if they go for the two. We'll talk about all that stuff. There's a whole lot of positives and negatives to talk about, and where the hell are we going in the future with this
Mm.
team? But overall, there's a lot of things to fix. Injuries have really bugged this team a lot, not just offensively but defensively. There are some bright spots, and we'll go over that. But with the last game, I know we missed a lot. I think the last time we talked was the New Orleans game.
Yeah, I want to say that's correct, but I mean, you look at the schedule here, and I think a lot of people before the season would say, "Hey, Buccaneers are going to be 4-6 going into the bye week," and we're looking that in the face right now with San Francisco, and of course we have a chance to beat San Francisco. It will be probably another close game like we experienced last night, I'm sure. But yeah, just tough sledding. Obviously, I think the backbreaker for the Buccaneers right now, where they're sitting at currently, is the losses to Atlanta. I
Yep.
think if you win one of those games, even just one, I think you're sitting obviously in a much better situation. You're what would you be, 5-4, and you have an opportunity to maybe be 6-4 at the bye, and that would put you in a great spot. But it's not happening, so you're looking at a very tough hill climb to make the playoffs. But before we get into that, let's dive into this game against Kansas City. Just from the start. I mean, obviously a good start again. Defensively, right off the bat, you get a break with Xavier Worthy, going out of bounds and not staying in bounds. So you get a nice bounce your way, and you feel like, okay, maybe there's a chance here tonight. Um, and then the offense, obviously a little slow sledding, but then they pick it up. They have a nice drive, touchdown to go up 7-3. And then after that, you have a great opportunity by Antoine Winfield, and that's our pitcher for the thumbnail tonight. It's like, oh, he's just waiting to pick that ball off instead of attacking it, and that's kind of the way the season has gone for the Buccaneers, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Just your thoughts on just overall thoughts on the game last night.
That is another area of concern for our defense. Like, it's
Mm,
one thing everyone's putting it all on Bowles, right? I mean, it,
yeah,
necessarily it is on him because he's the head coach, he's your defensive coordinator, and the defense is looking like shit. They're bottom 3 in the league. They're there's sieves everywhere on this defense, especially in the middle of the field, even though it was a little bit better this game.
Yeah.
But outside corner opposite McCollum, even though because Dean got hurt, Hall got hurt in the damn preseason. So it's like,
Well, yeah, first game of the season.
right. So it's like no matter what, it's always something with the cornerbacks in this team. And
Mhm.
you just can't stay healthy. But how deep of a cornerback room can you have where you have a caliber player that's starting caliber, your fourth cornerback deep? I mean, it's hard. So
Yeah.
it's a hard assignment for him to do because I mean you're not going to have 4 starting corners. Let's put it that way. And it's not money wise able to do it, and you can't just other teams will steal those guys away.
Mhm.
So that in itself is difficult. But you want your top tier guys to play like top tier guys.
Mhm.
Winfield hasn't done that all season, pretty much. Besides the Washington game, he's missed a lot
Yep.
this year. Considering you just paid him a handsome amount of money, you expect that guy to show up. And
Mhm.
that one play against the Falcons looked like he left Thunderberg out to dry. Bowles said one other thing in the press conferences. He takes a lot of blame for his players. He doesn't really throw them under the bus much.
Mhm.
And then you're looking at the game against Kansas City. He's letting the ball come to him instead of attacking the damn ball. Like
Yeah.
that's how you got money by attacking the ball. Yes, and
Mhm.
a lot of people will defend him with the Kyle Pitts should have been fumble at the goal line, which again we probably are winning that game if that happens.
Right.
But also, it can't woulda, coulda, shoulda, especially the false start that should have been in the damn Kansas City game. But again, we can't beat the refs. We just win the damn game. Like just win
Mhm.
it with the field of play that you put on tape.
Mhm.
Winfield hasn't been doing it. Don't give me that. Oh, he was all out a month. Okay, but still, you're paid to play, and
Mhm.
he has been performing how he's been, and he's literally one of our favorite players in the whole damn team. I have his jersey. Think he's a phenomenal player, but he's not playing up to the par of what he's being paid to do. And I think he's pissed off just as much as anyone else because he is one of those guys that kind of envisions how good of a player he is. He doesn't want to take a step back. He only wants him to take steps forward. So we need him to play better.
Mhm.
Standpoint. Okay, enough said. Elijah Cansey, he improved a lot in this game, but he has been
Mhm.
quiet,
Yeah.
right? Vita Vea played like a blue chip player. Like he's been
Mhm.
doing it almost all season. Again, leading this Bucs team in sacks, but it's the sieves, the little spots in between it. Like KJ Britt, luckily, he's probably not going to be in that starting middle linebacker. He's starting to get less reps because of what's been happening.
Mhm.
But I mean, collectively, they need to do better. Offensively, it's a whole other thing. But what do you want to say about defense specifically?
Yeah, defense, I think it's, those things that you pointed to. Obviously, your best players have to be their best at all times. And it's just been so up and down for that unit. And it's tough with all the, different pieces that continue to come in and out. Obviously, when you had Servassier Dennis playing his certain role, that made your defense a lot better. You had Jamel Dean and McCollum on both sides where they weren't really giving up a lot of big plays down the field. There was a couple here and there, but for the most part, they were keeping things in front. They were letting the defense, the scheme work for them. And I think right now it's just a combination of opposing offenses know where the weaknesses are. They see it on film and they're just continuing to attack it. We saw it last night with Mahomes. He understood that Hopkins was on Josh Hayes and clearly, sees that as a mismatch as it rightfully is. And they attacked it consistently last night. Then Travis Kelsey with his ability to get open in different ways, variety of ways, and they found a way to get first downs off of that. And then the run game, they did a better job of stopping the run or at least limiting the run. But then as the game wore on, you could kind of see they got tired and missed tackles and stuff like that. But it's tough. I mean, defensively, I just wish from Coach Bowles' standpoint, I think what we talked about off air, it's like he just needs to find a way to make adjustments sooner or quicker and understand, okay, this isn't working. I got to find at least somebody else who can go in there and just have a different type of plan to execute. Right now, it's not working. You're giving up yards, and now on top of the yards, you're giving up touchdowns. Where before you were finding a way to get stops and hold them to 3. I mean, Detroit's the perfect example. We shut them out in the red zone, and that's why we won the game. Um, if you're not getting turnovers or if you're not getting stops in the red zone, it's going to be tough sledding for this defense because I think that's how they play. They play for the turnover. That's how they're designed, and and right now it's just not clicking because you don't have all the pieces necessary to do what Todd Bowles wants. So I think that plays a big factor into it. But on the bright side, as far as my takeaways from last night's game, Liam Cohen is for real. Like, I think we can all say that. Like, he's a legit offensive coordinator for his offensive unit to continue to put up points with the limited resources that he's had to deal with, especially lately over this stretch without Mike Evans, without Godwin. And now you basically have Kate Otten, who's taking Chris Godwin's role and stepping up as a third down option.
Woo!
Yeah, that is a beautiful thing to see. It was very nice to see Baker Mayfield with 0 turnovers. I think that's going to be a huge part moving forward. If this team wants to have success, we have to protect the ball. He got lucky that first pass was not picked off to start the game, or the second pass of the game. The guy dropped it. So yeah, I mean, Liam Cohen, the defense tackling for the most part better, playing a more consistent game, or at least trying to have a simpler game plan, it looked like, or at least a little more variety with your middle of the field defense. I thought that was good. But still long ways to go, still long ways to get this team where we want it to get to. Just got to find that consistency, and hopefully they can get healthy down the road here.
Yeah, I want to talk a couple points since you mentioned it, because I want to get back to what Farouk Wahab was saying. Well, offensively, look at the difference between the way Dave Canales started last season and how Liam Cohen has started his season with way less, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he started exploding when he had everything that Dave Canales had at the beginning of the season, or put up 51 damn points, right? When everyone's healthy, and all of a sudden he loses all these people. We're still putting up points with far less superior players. We're getting guys that are third, fourth string, or rookies, or practice squad guys, and he's getting them to do things because of elusiveness of play call, the sequencing of the play call, the setting things up, the playing chess on checker stuff, where like the Kate Otten touchdown, that same drive, they had just passed it to Sean Tucker short in the flats. They run something very similar. You've seen this formation before. Kate Otten goes a block, but nope, he goes out. And phenomenal play calling and stuff we've seen throughout the season now. It's not just one game. Like from Washington to now, we've seen plays where like, damn, that's good. That's cool. And that's players over plays kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And I think now it's just getting Baker to understand the situations a little bit better and not trying to do that hero ball that we've seen. And that has been costly in the last couple of games, especially, Baltimore and Atlanta, the previous weeks. That definitely took the wind out of your sails when you have those turnovers and your defense is already shorthanded as it is. Like, that has to come into his mind and understand that. I thought he did a better job of that last night, understanding certain situations, understanding it's okay to check it down, play for the field goal, don't try to force the issue, and get points. And there's still some things with Baker that he can be more consistent at. I pointed it out on Twitter earlier today, just hitting those easy completions that are there. Like, you got to make those plays. And those are the things that can cost you games. It's just little things, the little details, they all add up. But before we get into Kate Otten, we're going to do a little film study on him. Let's talk about, obviously the big question of the night last night, the thing that most people think led to the Buccaneers loss, or didn't lead to a win. We can talk about the refs another time because the refs are always blowing, games and stuff, but
get off their knees, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, should have the Bucs went for 2, and I'm of the motion that they should have, because
bring up the Greg Allman thing too.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it real quick. But just give me your thoughts on if they should have went for two or should have not. Did you like the call that they decided to do? Just touch on that.
I mean, it's a lot that leads up to it too, because like the
Yeah,
timeout with 30 seconds left, and then they add 3 more seconds and goes over to 33 at the 1-yard line. Yes,
right,
you probably should have let it go down more since you're at the 1. You can milk it, take your time, and then take a timeout, right? But they took it
right.
early. Either way, that timeout is when they should have talked about it. He said that they did. It was more to regroup the players, but also to talk about what they're gonna do if they do score. And in the interview today, he said that I guess the people upstairs said, "Oh, it's better just to kick the field goal and we'll do this in overtime." And everyone kept asking about the shitty field. Well, why the hell would you try and march down the field or even give the opportunity to give the ball to Mahomes? It makes no damn sense, right? And he's like, "Oh, well, we just thought we had momentum." I can see his point, right? I mean, you just Kansas City thought they had it in the bag, and now Baker drives them down the field. We score. We did have a little momentum, but then you saw it leave the second we get tails and it says it's heads, and Baker throws his head up like I ain't gonna get this ball. Right.
Yeah.
So yes, if we get the ball, maybe we do score and we win. But I mean, with that said, yeah, this is the thing I was talking about. I think it was this one.
Yeah, well, this is just talking about the Bucks on 2-point conversions this year. They're one of three. I know the percentage. I think that he's showing over the last 5 years, the Bucks were 6 for 19, and that's with Brady and obviously Mike Evans.
Well, yeah,
But
someone to you like earlier today about like the whole league entirety at its 2-yard
yeah,
conversions, but
right. I think it was like in the 30 percentile. Um, but see, my thing is, I would still take that percentage over going into overtime knowing, okay, now you have to rely on a coin toss, and if you don't get it, Mahomes most likely is going to score. And especially with the way your defense has been playing, the odds just weren't in your favor. Now I know you can say, oh well, if the Bucks win the toss, we probably go right down and score. But I think you just have an opportunity there at the end of the game to end it in regulation
yeah,
and play for the win. Like, you have your opportunity is right there, like, and you're 2 yards away.
yeah.
You're 6 feet from a win. And I think you just have to take that opportunity to try to go get it. And yeah, I mean, and that's some of the things where I understand fans' frustration when it comes to Todd Bowles and just his game management. And it's just been so up and down. There's certain times where he's aggressive and you're like, okay, let's go. And then it's just at other points in time, he just doesn't understand the situation with clock management and being aggressive at a certain point where you're playing to win the game. So
I mean, it does suck. I mean, when you
yeah,
look at it that way, you're at the 2-yard line. You have an offensive coordinator that's extremely creative, but then he's thinking, okay, well, we have so many young guys that don't really know what the hell they're doing. Baker's accuracy isn't been phenomenal. If it's a 2-yard line, you're gonna have to get that thing out extremely fast. Baker
mhm,
has a tendency to hold it at times. Kate Otten was doing phenomenal. I don't know why you don't draw up the same damn play you did against the Falcons a week prior.
yeah,
But I mean, yes, it does suck that they didn't go for it. I mean, when you add up all the variables, yes, you're on the road. It's a shitty situation of weather. I mean by
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Uh,
Field,
Patrick Mahomes is the other guy you're facing with the
yeah,
best play caller in the league, a team of 7-0. You got to find any way where if you have a chance to win it on the road and do that, you got to take it. And
mhm,
I don't know why. Maybe he took too much advice from upstairs. He didn't make the decision himself.
yeah,
Again, but these are things he's going to have to learn about, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think, and that's where I get it. That's where I look to. It's like you have an opportunity to take the game. You have the perfect package for a 2-point conversion with 21 personnel, where you have Bucky and Rashad on the field at the same time, or even Sean Tucker, to run multiple variations of whatever play you want to get basically 2 yards. So I thought there was opportunity to be creative. We saw the creation on the Ryan Miller touchdown. That was a perfect play. Nice little sprint out where he fake blocks and goes to the corner, wide open score. So and you had Kansas City on the ropes. I think Andy Reid knew it as well. He was surprised they didn't go for two. He even, laughed about it. He's thankful they didn't. So yeah, I mean, it just makes you question, but it's over with. We have to move on. We have to move on to San Francisco. King Cook was talking about some trades, and obviously all these guys got traded today. Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith as well. Marshawn Lattimore is no longer a Saint, so the end of the Mike Evans Lattimore rivalry is pretty much over. Um, I, I don't think the Bucs are going to make any moves today. I know a lot of fans were hoping, maybe we make some type of addition or some type of acquisition to help bolster the defense, but Jason Light is just not one of those guys where he, gives up draft picks to just a rental player. That's just not his MO. He wants to make sure the guy's going to be here for the long haul. That's just the way he kind of goes after it. Unless we're in a situation where it's like a Steve McClendon. I think that's the only like trade I remember him making, where it's a defensive lineman that kind of made sense, been in the defense before, and it's just
That's your other thing.
yeah.
What do you keep telling me?
Well, yeah, I mean, it just seems like new players take 7 years to learn the defense, which I don't understand. Like, why is the defense so complicated for these guys to get and realize? But yeah,
I mean, but also some of these players had big contracts. Marshall and Lattimore, they're not going to bring that onto their team.
yeah.
And
Yeah, there's a reason the Saints are in such a bad cap situation. They want to get rid of those bad contracts, and Marshawn was definitely one of those. And also, he's been struggling to stay healthy. So yeah,
Love is upset.
yeah,
Traded for one of the Chiefs refs. Yeah, it's stupid. It's every game, but
yeah,
it's
that's a great point.
something you deal with now the darling that is Patrick Mahomes, but also Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. They're not going to want Taylor Swift to cry on national television. They're just not going to want to do that. It's too much publicity for her to do that, but
Right.
In a negative way. So they're going to protect their babies. But yeah, why the hell would they lose to the Bucs? It's a joke. Yeah, it's all fun and games, but either way, the Bucs should have found a way to win that game.
Mhm.
It shouldn't even have come to the overtime as we just discussed. But also, I wanted to touch on what he said earlier about Todd Bowles. He said, I feel like Bowles needs to simplify the defense, too many miscommunication and abandoned zones. We kind of touched on that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
There it is. But it's also something we've talked about. So you always say, why don't you simplify it so we're either going to be extremely aggressive, blitz all the time, or draw back all the time, just play safe.
Mhm.
And then my rebuttal to that is you can't be that way. Like play callers in the NFL. Look at Liam Cohen. He went from Kentucky to here, and look how great he's doing. And that he's one of a few guys, not necessarily few, but everyone in the NFL is that competitive, that good of a coach that they can find mismatches, they can find weaknesses, and they're just going to exploit it. So you can't be so predictable because they're just going to keep attacking what you consistently do. So you have to be creative. Even in his press conference today, he's like, I can only help out so much. If there's 80 plays in a game, I can't just put a safety over top of you every damn time to help you out. They're just going to abuse the other side of the field. So he's like, I can help them, yeah, but we got to trust these players to be in their assignment at times too. So
Yeah.
it's the fight and the struggle that he has to the injury bug that we hit, hoping KJ Britt would take that next step, which didn't happen clearly.
Yeah.
It's it sucks, but those players need to certain players need to step up.
Mhm.
Not necessarily just lower tier or just your next outside linebacker. It's more the guys you're paying. Vita Vea did it. For real, Winfield is not. Zion McCollum is playing well. They're not attacking him.
Yeah.
Attacking the other corners. Right.
Yep.
If the other corner can just play serviceable. This whole game he did well. He did well. It was just the end zone opportunities, the red zone opportunities. Yes, maybe McCollum should slide over to Hopkins. Maybe that should have been the better wide receiver. I know you hated that, but Bowles is playing with what he has, and it's you can only move so many pieces around. And I
Yeah.
guess you want to touch on his logic of putting Hayes over DeAndre Hopkins instead of Zion McCollum.
Yeah, I mean, for Todd Bowles, he doesn't move his corners. Usually Zion is going to be the left cornerback or whatever it is. They're going to stay in their assignment. Like they don't move. He doesn't rotate his corners, so they play whatever side they're on, and that's where they're going to be. I just felt it would have been smarter to have Zion on D Hop because that's a more likely go-to guy. Now, I understand you don't want Josh Hayes on the speed threat that is Xavier Worthy. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he actually was on Xavier Worthy on the first, what was that, the first target for him that he didn't score on.
Went out of bounds. Yeah.
So I can understand that would have been maybe troublesome. And it's funny. It's funny that they didn't go to him the rest of the game. The only time they went to him was um what was it, on the reverse plays and stuff like that, the gadget plays, and
Shut it down.
Zion basically took him out of the game. I know they had one deep shot target to him, but it was overthrown, and Zion was right there in phase. So it's tough, and obviously we're expecting Jamel Dean to be back after the bye week. Hopefully that comes to fruition. That's going to be a big boost and really help these other guys that are just clearly they're just not ready. They don't have the experience playing in the system, understanding the communication parts, understanding where guys are supposed to be. So all those things factor in. You the communication, I think it comes down to, again, the injuries and guys working as one. Your pass rush has to help out your secondary and vice versa, right? So if the pass rush is getting there, then the secondary can't allow the guys to be wide open less than whatever many seconds. And that's just been the case for the Bucs this year. It's been a tough sledding. So that's why it's really important for this offense to continue to be really good and put up 30 points a game if they can. And a lot of that goes into not turning over the football. And I think they will continue to score points because they're not going to face the Kansas City Chiefs defense every week. And that's a really good defense over there, like really good. And they put 24 on them, which is pretty impressive given what we were working with last night. And big shout out to our offensive line, continues to play very well.
Yeah,
And
they average 18 points a game allowed. So
yep.
Pretty damn good defense over there. And now we're going to be playing San Francisco 22 points a game.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, a little step down, little step down. But again, they have Nick Bosa that we have to deal with, and obviously their linebackers, Fred Warner. That's going to be interesting to see how they take Cade Otton out of the game or try to. We'll see. But with that said, let's we'll talk about Cade Otton here. I want to dive into his film and just how big he has been as far as stepping up for this team, especially with the limited options that we've had without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on the field. But you look at his numbers, I mean, just continues to progress every year. This was one player that I really loved, and I'm sure you guys, if you follow us on Twitter, know how much I talk about Cade Otton and how much respect I have for him as a player. But just continues to get better and better each year. 44 catches already on the year. He's about to destroy his season stats this season. Probably have career highs in every single category.
Yep.
Has a let's say that again.
Literally one game away from it.
Yep, exactly. So just very impressive for him, and really has a shot at making the Pro Bowl, which is a goal he put out this year, and that's awesome to see. And yeah, he's just been phenomenal. I love how they utilized him and really has taken his game that much further and has become really a complete player. He's not a liability in blocking anymore. So yeah, really, really nice to see that. But with that said, let's get into it here. We'll dive into the tape. Let me go full screen here. And yeah, we'll just break down the first touchdown here. It's really fun, really great design. Mark talked about it earlier on the podcast about how we ran this same play earlier with Sean Tucker. And basically, they're going to do a fake screen here, move Otton in motion to come on a wheel route. A great job here by Ryan Miller to draw these defenders. Runs really a natural pick play here to get the edge for Cade Otton. And Cade does a great job of selling it. A nice little pump fake from Baker, and he releases this on time And again, a good throw and a great catch. Just great execution there.
Yeah, because I mean, it's the overcommitment to, oh, they're going to run this little simple short screen again. The linebacker staying because he doesn't think it's going to be anything over the top. It's just finding the opening. Look at that. It's just green grass for you to attack. And that's what happened. I mean, that's great play call. And then players making plays. This is the touchdown against the Falcons. Baker makes a good spot on a ball right here. I mean, look at there's a whole lot of defenders here. Baker zips this down in the bottom where only Cade can get this. Good secure catch. It's almost like Dave Moore from years past. I loved it.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely, and you just love the concepts. Again, they're gonna do this same design route, later in the game, as you'll see on the next play, but just a great option of having guys moving, and getting their eyes somewhere else, and Kate Otten is just there to clean it up, and a great timing play and throw red zone option. Really nice stuff, and then here's the play I was talking about. So now they have them in a bunch formation. He's basically gonna run a little angle route here, just going out to the flat, and then he cuts it back in. And then look at the athleticism there, hurdling a guy. Mark talks about his speed and not having the breakaway speed, which is true. He's not a breakaway athletic freak of nature, but the guy can just do everything very well. And I just love the consistent play that he brings. And people forget this guy plays every snap
Yeah.
on the game. Like every game he's out there. And I just love seeing it. And I love these plays here too. And this is another thing that set up that touchdown later. They kept doing this play where, just having him coming across, setting up a screen, and look at the extra yards that he gets
Mhm.
after first contact, which is awesome. This should be like only a 5-yard play, but he gets 9. So that's awesome to see, and just his continued maturation there.
Yeah, you can tell the confidence is flying up, guys. I mean, multiple times he's getting the ball, moving forward, gaining yards, being elusive. We haven't seen this part of K. Doughton in his career yet. And then earlier in the offseason, he said his goals where he wants to make the Pro Bowl. I kind of snickered and laughed at it. I was like, hey, I'll make the Pro Bowl. Come on, guy. And now look what's happening. He's gonna have career highs probably after this next game. And it's stuff where he's like, no, I think I can do this. And now he's a feature in this offense, and look what he's doing. Like, look at that. Like you were just saying, after contact, like where he's getting touched, he picks up five yards right after that, gets the first down. And it's the simple things of he is being utilized, right? When you have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, you're not being utilized, but also the play fakes. Okay, another tight end is moving in motion. Where are your eyes, right? Oh, it's a play fake. They're going to probably run this, and this guy's just going to block, right? No, like Cohen and this cool chess over checkers kind of offense, and you're getting guys open. Look at this guy. He's pointing. Oh, stay with him. Nope, doesn't do it because there's another option deeper. So you want to allow the underneath, right? Kate Otten on the money gets it, gets upfield. Just so much to like with his consistent play matched with great play calling from Liam Cohen.
Right. And now we're just going to get into his contested catch, which I think is something he probably still needs to improve, but his just physicality and toughness has been on display over the last several weeks. And this is another one, takes a big shot here in the back, but holds on to the football. Again, another well-designed play that Mark is alluding to. You're faking the screen out here to the top of the screen, and guess what that does? It makes those linebackers flow to the top of the screen and opens up the middle of the field. And that's where Kate Otten can thrive. And obviously, this is what's working. And this is probably why he doesn't need that elite athleticism, because the scheme fits his skill set, fits what he likes to do. And obviously, it's working to perfection. And then this nice little out route here, just catching the ball in stride. I didn't think they were going to get this first down. It was third
Right.
and 12, and he ends up getting 13 yards on this play, which is quite remarkable. Nice little juke there to freeze the defender there that he's going up against. I just love everything I'm seeing from Kate Otten.
But a lot of this, it's like, again, you got to give Cohen his credit. Like this is drawn up for your consistent guy, player over place, right? I need to find a way to get the ball in the hands of Kate Otten because he's been my one true consistent guy. You drew up a play where everyone else is going deep. We're trying to clear this out. So he's 1v1. That's always what you want to get on offense, right? You're clearing all this out, get that underneath the guy. They're just sitting at the sticks. They're like, oh, we just cover this and we'll be good. You got a one-on-one option here. Cade, I love how he turned his whole body to catch this, gets upfield immediately. Again, the first guy is not getting him right now. Like earlier in his career, he'd be down right there. Gets
Mhm.
upfield, lowers the head, gets a first down. Like he's just been so much more confident with his moves, confident
Yeah.
with the ball in his hands. Like we did not see him hurdle people in
Mhm.
years past. I think he's in the zone right now. Cohen notices it. He's feeding him.
Yeah.
And the more you do that, the better it's going to get. And if you had that with Mike Evans coming back later in the season, you got something you're cooking with. So
Yeah, for sure.
you hope this consistently gets there. And Cohen's like, okay, I know I got something in my bag now. I can go back.
Mhm.
That's how you use bag, not get wherever the hell it is. He got a bag. I hate that shit. Bag of tricks, not he got a bag of money. It's dumb.
You're right, right. Yeah,
But
no, absolutely. But yeah, that's Kate Otten there, guys. Just I'm really impressed by him, and this tight end room as a whole, it hasn't really been, it's just been Cade, really. Like he's been leading the charge. Payne Durham has been more utilized as that blocking tight end, which I think he's doing a pretty good job of. Hasn't really been that receiving threat. They don't really need him for that. Kokeef been a special team ace for us. Um, and then Devin Culp, I'm still hoping he's the second half player, like the player after the bye week that comes on late. Because I have a vision for the tight end room where Cade Otton is being what we're seeing right now. And then Devin Culp is that guy that can be that athletic guy that everyone's looking for to be the seam threat, open up the field even more for Cade Otton underneath and those two tight end sets. That is something that is pretty awesome to think about. We just hope it gets there because it is you're expecting a lot out of a seventh round pick from Devin Culp, and he's still learning the game. So hoping that comes to fruition will remain to be seen, but you have to be excited from what you're seeing from this offense, and obviously with Cade Otton leading the way for the time being.
yeah, I see Devin Culp more as like what Sean Tucker was last year. Like they
Yeah.
saved him on the roster because like we have something here. We can't
Mhm.
let anyone else get him, so we're gonna hold him. They know what they have. I think he's just gonna get developed in this offense and slowly show up for next year. I don't know if he's gonna be ready for this year
Mhm.
because Payne Durham, he's not bad. I mean, he just hasn't been utilized as much because Kate Otten is that
Yeah.
consistent of a guy. It's almost like he just took over, like you said, Chris Godwin's spot.
Mhm.
He's your go-to like slot.
Yep.
Who the hell is going to help be the Mike Evans? I don't know. It's just been a collective thing right now and
Mhm.
extremely creative play call. Like the amount of different guys that ran the ball this last game, I was like, holy shit! Like it wasn't necessarily one guy had like 20 carries. It was multiple guys had 3 to 5 carries, and
Mhm.
you're like, damn, like so you can't like I was saying with the defense, you can't be predictable, right?
Yeah.
Ian Cohen is not predictable at all. He's
Yep.
giving you, oh, it's this, it's this, it's this. Oh, never mind. You thought it was that. So it's the creativity that's helping this offense. It's not allowing you to just sit there like a Byron Leftwich offense and just know what the hell's coming,
Mhm.
right? And it's
Yep.
running on a top 5 run defense team.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a lot of good praise for a team that just threw out backups at wide receiver. Like
Mhm.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
that's really cool stuff.
Yeah, no, it's definitely encouraging. Obviously, now we just got to hope as we shift gears to looking at what's ahead for this team, and if there is still hope for making the playoffs with this, current roster and what they have moving forward. We'll get into that, but I think that's something that we hope gets better, and obviously that's going to be the key for the team. Can the defense get more stops and get off the field more effectively off a third down? Last night, obviously facing a good third down offense in Pat Mahomes, and obviously he's tough to stop, especially when he gets outside the pocket. So if that can improve where you get off the field more, get your offense the ball, more opportunities, that is something that we're hoping we see moving forward. And obviously, it's going to be a big factor again this weekend against the 49ers. So yeah, I mean, but a lot of good takeaways for the offensive side of the ball. People talking about Sean Tucker in here, Raheem Jarrett starting to look a lot better. Hopefully, he gets more involved as he gets back into football shape. So those are good things to see. I love the use of Sean Tucker in the second half. I know he only had 7 snaps. You want to see him get the ball more, but it's tough because Rashad White does so much in the passing game, and obviously he's the passing protector, or does the best as far as picking up the blitz. So it's tough putting Sean Tucker in those situations, or even Bucky Irving, who again just finds ways to make plays. That kickoff return to start the second half was big, and obviously started the third quarter off the right way. But yeah, a lot of positives on that side. Defensively, just got to hope for the best. They get healthy and figure things out. But let's shift gears to the second half of the schedule. Let me pull up. Hopefully, it's still here. Why is it? Oh, that's why. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I mean, tough. I mean, look at all the teams that the Buccaneers have beaten so far. I mean, Mark, talk about that. I mean, we beat Washington, beat Detroit, Philadelphia. Those are all like, what are they? 6-2, 7-1. So
Yeah.
just
I mean,
crazy.
so and that's why it blows my mind. Like, because I was watching, if you guys haven't seen it, what is it? Gruden loves football.
Yeah.
I freaking love his analysis, just the way he's animated about it. But he makes really good points. I mean, it's like
Mm-hmm.
you look at it, we're in so many games, and then you look at the two Falcons game. The one on the road, we should have won again,
Yeah.
but Bucky fumbles. The sure head, just get down, we win the game. He
Mm-hmm.
fumbles, gives him opportunity, we lose the game. We know
Yeah.
that. Falcons game at home. Oh, we're in it early. Yes, Kirk Cousins is doing his thing early on too, but
Mm-hmm.
Baker's 2 costly interceptions inside our own 20-yard line, inside our own 10-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
One was already a touchdown. He just underthrew it, and then another one, me and Cohen took, I guess the bad credit for it. He's like, I shouldn't have set him up that way, but just don't
Mm-hmm.
make bad throws. If it's not there, throw it away or run.
Yeah.
And he did that this game. He's learned that. Hopefully, it stays consistent, right? But like
Mm-hmm.
those are 2 games where it was possible wins, right?
Yeah.
And we're just finding ways to lose, to be honest. And
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore, we're upset 10-0, have a chance to go up 17-0. Mike
Yeah.
Evans drops a touchdown, tears his hamstring, but very next damn play, holding the ball way too damn long inside your red zone,
Yeah.
and then throw it to the Baltimore Ravens and talk about a momentum shift. You lose your best player on offense. You
Mm-hmm.
just throw the damn ball away where you could have been up massive in this game. Morale's down. Everything's just quicksand, right? And
Mm-hmm.
this team doesn't seem to have the hurrah to kind of break through it at times. Even with Brady, it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Momentum's a real damn thing. So if you got it, stick with it. Don't shoot yourself in the foot so many damn times. So
Mm-hmm.
you see the good with the Lions, Commanders,
Yeah.
dominant fashion against the Commanders, and then even dominant fashion against the Eagles. And that's a team that's whooping everyone else's ass right now.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a bad team. It's just a team that's very inconsistent. And when you
Mm-hmm.
start being consistent, that's when you're a good team. A lot of people put that on the coach. It is, especially defensively, because there's nothing consistent right there on the defensive side of the ball. We need
Mm-hmm.
some consistency. Hopefully, with injuries, people coming back, or just finding ways where, okay, we know the weakness that was KJ Britt's fixed a little bit. Josh Hayes will help him out a little bit more, but rely on our defense as a whole to play better. Talk about you, Winfield. Because, I mean, we need the best players to play like the best players. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens. Because if we stay in games, we're likely either going to win close ones or our offense should be able to score points and limit the damage of the other team if there's no turnovers. Just turnovers is the biggest factor for me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I think Baker talked about it. He's like, just find ways to end every drive in points, and that's what they did last night. They found ways to end the drive in points, especially when they got on that side of the field. Getting points when you can. I think that is the biggest takeaway. That's going to be the mantra for the offense, and then defensively, like you said, just finding ways to put more complete games together, having your best players be your best players, and don't make things easy for the opposing opposing offense. Like make it as difficult as you can, and find ways to get stops at all costs. Force threes, get back to holding teams out of the end zone if possible. That's going to be the key.
I
But
mean, one thing I wanted to touch on.
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt, but like
no, you're
I
good.
think we used to be really consistently good at, and no one would even touch it, was run the ball.
Mhm.
We're literally middle of the pack and stopping the run, like
Yeah.
barely middle of the pack. Whatever happened to that? Like I know some of it would come down because Kalijah Cansey is smaller, but
Mhm.
then it's you're added smaller of Cansey. I'm not going to down him that bad, but Logan Hall is not the best against the run.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's areas where like, damn, what the hell are we doing? I love that CJ Brewer is getting more reps. He looked damn good against the Chiefs as well.
Mhm.
So you're seeing things come about, but I mean, there needs to be an emphasis, like you said, like stick on what you're good at. Right now, defensively, we're not good at damn near anything.
Yeah.
I mean, the front four was doing extremely well this game. The fact that they can rush just four and get pressure, I'm really liking that. And then if
Mhm.
you can add your scheme blitzes in there, great, do it. But just realize on third down, you need to improve massively.
Yeah.
Like, notice who the hell the personnel you're playing. If Mahomes can move, contain his ass. Braswell made the biggest mistake of the game to me on defense,
Mhm.
second to Winfield not knocking that damn ball out. If you contain Mahomes on the play where he injured himself, that's not a touchdown. It's either a sack or a throwaway. But he freaking flies right by him. Like, dude, I guarantee you their number one thing they said was contain Mahomes, keep him in the pocket.
Yeah.
Don't let him beat you with his legs because that's what he's good at. And what happened,
Mhm.
rookie mistake. But
Yeah. Yeah. The key,
always
the key
playing.
for Yeah, the key for containing Mahomes is, forcing him to his left. That's the biggest thing you have to try to do. But yeah, I mean, he's so creative. He knows how to get the ball out of his hands at the right times, and obviously made the key plays last night. But yeah, defensively, I think stopping the run, the biggest factor is they just don't have the guys filling the holes. Levante David hasn't played like his normal self at times, very very inconsistent. And then the other guy, KJ Britt, we know just very hesitant when it comes to shooting gaps or filling the gap. Doesn't really attack the line of scrimmage. I think that's something that has been an issue. JJ Russell was in last night, did a little better as far as that goes. But yeah, it comes down to these guys coming in, filling the gaps, and then tackling. Like you got to tackle, you got to make that first hit, and you got to gain tackle. So
Yeah, there
that's
wasn't much of that. Wasn't much of
no, no, like you got to fly to the football. So I think that is something that's been missing, especially when you look at previous defenses. Like guys were attacking as one, and everyone was moving towards the football and making plays on it. So that's what's got to happen. But just looking at the schedule, and this is where the hope comes in for the rest of the season because schedule gets a lot easier. I mean, a lot easier than what we've faced so far. I mean, that's a brutal schedule right there. All those teams, besides the Saints, all have winning records. I believe. Yeah, Denver, I think, is around 500. Washington, Detroit, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Baltimore, and Kansas City. That's tough sledding. I mean, all those teams have at least what 6, 7 wins outside of Denver.
that.
So yeah, just crazy. And now you got one more on the docket, San Francisco, who again is like us. They're 4-4. So maybe we have a shot. I think we're going to be in the game. I think it's just going to be, can we execute well enough on both sides, and obviously hopefully put up 30 points again this time around, and hopefully that should be enough. Hopefully it is.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have guys back. They're having Christian McCaffrey probably coming back, so that's gonna be tough sledding, especially with our linebacker play. How can we, stop the San Francisco team, which we've have struggled, over the last several years, finding ways to stop their offense.
Yeah, and I mean, them just like almost every damn team in the league right now, injuries. They lost one of their receivers for the year, and
Mm,
then Debo was injured in and out. He's another guy that's usually injured in and out, but he's a damn good player.
yeah,
Christian McCaffrey hasn't set foot on the field until he plays the Buccaneers.
yeah,
But,
exactly.
but let's see, like I was saying, put an emphasis on stop the run because that's exactly what San Francisco wants to do.
Mhm.
then make them only throw to Debo. But then again, you got Kittle in the middle. Well, that's
Yeah.
nice rhyme. But so middle of our field's terrible. So
Yeah.
let's
It's
see.
good. It's going to be tough. Yeah, tough sledding. Obviously, the Bucs offense, they're going to have to A, take care of the football,
Yeah.
and B, they're going to have to find ways to run it against the San Francisco defense. Like, I think that's the way you try to help your defense out. Ball control, move down the field, and try to get, obviously touchdowns, but you got to hold the ball as long as you can, and possess it, because defensively it's been tough, with what you're dealing with. But with that said, after San Francisco, and we'll wrap up the show with this, team's got a chance to make a run. They have a chance to make a run. New York is bad. Carolina, awful. Vegas, not great. And then the Chargers and Dallas, obviously, are probably going to be the toss-up games, but Dallas is looking very spotty. And then Carolina and New Orleans, to close out the year. So you have an opportunity to win at least 5, maybe 6, hell, maybe even all 7. But they can do it. I don't know if it'll be enough to get in the playoffs. I think this team finishes at least 9-8 at minimum. Is that enough to make the playoffs? Probably not, just because of the other teams that are in other divisions and the way they're winning, especially out of the NFC North. I
And
mean,
your
unless
division record's awful.
what?
Our division record is going to be awful too. I mean, comparable. I mean,
Well, I mean, you're
we win
only
all these-
battling what?
that's if we win all these division games too.
Right. Yeah. Like you have to win all 3 remaining division games. You'll finish at 4-2 in your division. And obviously, Atlanta has a great opportunity to go 6-0 in the division. They're going to be the division champs most likely, unless they completely collapse. Which, hey, it's happened before. Who knows? But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I think they have an opportunity to make a run to at least be in the mix for that final wild card spot, for sure.
Yeah, and I just wanted to kind of touch on these last 2 points here. I agree with you. There should be a run, considering like what we just made the point of we know how to beat good teams,
Mhm.
right? We have personnel, and hopefully with injuries, guys getting better, coming back, easy schedule, easier schedule of talent, not less talented guys or teams with a rookie or not rookie head coach, but newer coach, newer schemes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Teams just trending down. Like
Yeah.
Carolina is getting better, but New Orleans trending down. Dallas
Right.
trending down. Dak saying our team sucks. New York just doesn't have many weapons at all. Doesn't
Yeah.
know what the other quarterback is. So there's teams where you can take advantage of and hopefully get your confidence up.
Mhm.
Their schedule looks advantageous for us. But I want to talk on Jordan D. Welcome back. We haven't seen you in a little bit.
Mhm.
Welcome back to the channel and giving us some of your intellect, because he's always got a good point or good questions in there. He said the issue is that the offense cannot outscore other teams to overcome the defensive breakdowns. This defense allows teams to have offensive performances that are outliers for their seasons, and he's 100% right. And that's the
Mhm.
biggest thing. That's why I said like defense is the most inconsistent part of our team, and your head coach is a defensive coordinator. That cannot happen. And then the
Yeah.
second point over there is saying the offense needs to average 40 points a game, and that's completely unsustainable or realistic to push the score far enough ahead. So
Mhm.
I completely agree. So that's why you need some consistency somewhere. So I'm
Yeah.
saying that we are not good at stopping the run. Definitely not good in the middle of the field. Terrible on third down. There's nothing on the defense right now that is you can lean your hat on.
Yeah.
Is it because of like Todd Bowles sounded like he's like, damn, I need Jamel Dean back after the bye. I hope he is. Sounded
Yeah.
like he said it.
He needs, yeah, definitely needs Jamel Dean. But yeah, I mean, and that's the uphill climb. The only reason why I say we have a potential to, go 9-5, to, or not 9-5, but 9-8 to end the season at minimum, is because, like you said, we're facing lesser quarterbacks. I mean, Giants, not good quarterback situation. Carolina, again, struggling quarterback situation. Las Vegas, same thing. Your best quarterback you have to face moving forward is probably going to be Justin Herbert from the Chargers. Maybe Dak Prescott against Dallas, but we'll
he's
see what. Yeah, if he plays. I mean, he's going on IR now, so he's going to be out for probably till like mid-December. So who knows if he comes back? Um, and then Carolina, New Orleans again. Like New Orleans is, I think, just going on a major tank. They're going to try to probably get the top pick. And the funny thing about that is there's no good quarterbacks coming out. So it's like what are you gonna do with when you look at that situation? But there should be at least I think 5 wins, and then Chargers and Dallas are your toss up games. But the Bucs should find ways to win those games as well. Like they'll be able to compete in those situations.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at it, we're in every game.
Mhm.
We've shown glimpses of holy crap, this is a damn good team.
Right.
Like I said, it's just such an inconsistent team, and
Yeah.
the coach has to make it consistent. Yes, he's saying don't make losing a habit or don't get used to losing, but you also got to create these habits that are good and you can lean on.
Mhm.
Offensively, you're seeing it, and if like the crowd that wants Bowles gone, he's making the greatest case to get fired based off of the performance his defense is giving. It doesn't matter if there's injuries or not. You got to find ways to be creative and use it. And plus, made the statement of like, look what Cohen's doing with his offense. My thing is, it's completely different. Defense is reactionary. Offense knows where the hell to be. So
Yeah.
you can coach it up a little easier. But defensively, you have to trust so many other people, and if there's guys rotating in and out, it's hard. So I
Mhm.
understand his dilemma. It doesn't matter. It's a production based league, and
Yeah.
can't produce. You're getting the kicked can out the damn door. So he's got to find a way, and like you say, make changes faster. I think he's made that change at linebacker. So let's see what
Mhm.
we can do moving forward. Hopefully, we can squeak one win on San Francisco, so we can have an even longer run moving forward. Because if Dean comes back, I think this off defense is a lot more consistent, a lot more dangerous to another team as opposed to the massive weaknesses we have right now.
Yeah. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You got to hope that you suffer no more, major injuries moving forward. You got to stay healthy. I think Mike Evans and Jamel Dean being back are obviously going to be big boosts for the team coming out of the bye week. You get Jalen McMillan as well, and then get probably some other guys back to add to the mix as far as depth. But obviously you're without Servassier the rest of the year. You're without Bryce Hall that we talked about. And so some of your depth has been hit. And then obviously the loss of Chris Godwin, that hurts you. So finding ways to be more consistent, like you said, and they have an opportunity to make a run here, and we'll see if they can do so. But yeah, I mean, right now I would say let's not panic just yet. I think again the Bucs were the same record last year this time. So let's see what they can do. I know San Francisco is going to be a good game. I think we're going to come out and compete, play hard. As always, that hasn't been an issue. Effort has always been there. So that's one positive to look at. Now it just comes down, can we make enough plays to win games? And we'll see. So hope everyone enjoyed it tonight, the live stream. It was good to be back. Sorry that we have been kind of MIA. A lot of stuff has been happening here in the state of Florida, obviously with the storms and everything has pushed, our normal day jobs into kind of hectic mode. So it's been tough. And obviously, Mark with, family life and everything going on there. So just a lot of things going on personally, but we're going to try to get back here on track and get back to a regular schedule, try to get more content out there for you guys. And yeah, very excited to see where this season goes. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button, comment down below your thoughts on the stream or anything you guys want to see moving forward. Let us know. And with that said, I think we're going to hit on out of here and have the rest of the week, and hopefully the Bucs find a way to win on Sunday. So everyone have a great week. Go Bucs, and we'll see you on the next one.
Woo!